起きてわかりね
Huh. Good afternoon, everyone. Today it's February 12th, 2025, and this is the Evan Studios Weekly Podcast, Season 2, Episode 6, if I recall correctly. And I just realized that the player on my new player on Windows just automatically runs tracks one after the other if they're on the same folder. So that's why you just heard our outro song right after the intro song. That was completely by mistake. Completely disregard that. Well, this is the first Evan Cities Weekly podcast that we do on Wednesday. I think we started by doing on like Fridays. This season we tried to make it on Mondays, but Mondays are probably the worst day of the week. So we're gonna go and try on Wednesdays because we really want to keep up the format in which we do weekly podcasts. First and foremost, I want to do a roll call for everybody in chat. What's up, Arian? And that's it. And this week, it's the first episode since the release of release of Journey Abroad, which was a very basic tech demo, but we didn't have much more time to work with stuff. Currently, as you guys know, we are working on Bloodlust, and there's other stuff that I wanted to go back and do. Like I was planning on start working on the Fleeting Hours remake on Wednesdays. Completely out the window, at least for now. It's not doable. We are currently in a point where we're trying to do so much. We want to go back in Journey Abroad and change the few things that we feel like we need to go and change. But basically all the time that we have right now, we are putting in Bloodlust. Else we're going to get to February 25 and our patch is going to be, miserable. And the reason for that is we're getting to a point where we have to test a bunch of scripts. Because it's behind every menu that you guys see, every little thing that you guys see, there's a big convoluted script, and then they also have to play nice with each other's. There's designing the scripts in the menus in Photoshop. At this point, there's just a lot of work, and basically that all falls on me. Isaac's part is pretty much just creating the events in game. It's mostly what he does. And then I have people that draw the images, and that's it. Everything else, from paneling the entire scenes, creating the maps, editing them in Photoshop, creating the assets for the maps, writing the dialogue, writing the story, proofreading the dialogues, all that stuff, like finding tracks, listening to tracks, sending tracks back for edits and whatnot. All of that stuff, that's me. Plus all the overseeing all the work that everyone else is doing, all the social media stuff. Basically, I do the job of like 50 different people, and it's fun, but at the same time, it's extremely overwhelming. And now on Bloodlust, we're doing one of the things that I actually enjoy doing the most, but it's one of the things that takes the most time, which is creating maps. And for instance, today I was creating a map for Bloodlust that was it's a map that you're only going to see once, and it has two versions. Basically, it's a version where Eve wakes up in her original apartment. She's going to move away from it for the game. She's going to move into an apartment building complex, which I mentioned, which is an apartment building complex where there's this landlord that rents cheap for teachers and whatnot, and school faculty, university faculty. He has like an agreement with university, and basically the university pays half of the amount, and the teachers pay the other half, and since Eve doesn't, since she's infiltrated, they both have to move away from their homes and actually pretend to, Eve pretends to be from a different city, and Jazz obviously is going to move in with Brooke, as we explained in a previous podcast. So there's this map which is Eve's bedroom, and we're also going to have one which is Jazz's bathroom, which is where they wake up on the first day before they move into the CIA headquarters, and they are briefed about the new mission. And they will not go back to their houses, but still I have to create that map, and I created Eve's bedroom, and honestly it took me like 5 or 6 hours. So basically you lose a whole day worth of work creating a map that players are going to see for the grand total of like 2 minutes. And basically you see a version where Eve just wakes up. Basically there's clothes everywhere, there's a dildo on the floor, there's a bunch of shit. She wakes up, she says a little monologue, you have a little fade out, little fade in, and basically the room now looks tidied up because she knows she's gonna have to move away. And yeah, that's probably where the intro is going to play, or maybe it plays after they are briefed in the CIA. But yeah, a map like that takes an entire day to do, and I've already started like planning the university and the different rooms that we're going to need for the first batches, and it's a lot of work. I've been working mostly on maps, and I'm probably gonna spend tomorrow working on maps and the rest of next week working on maps, which is gonna leave us like a few days to work on like dialogue and put bust in place and whatever. But it is what it is. Considering that it's the first batch and it's February, we could try, instead of releasing it on Tuesday, actually release it on Friday, which is the last day of the month, and have like 4 more days to work on the game, three more days to work on the game. But we want to like stick to like a schedule, and yeah, probably this batch is going to be very limited. So the CG team is mostly still working on the bus for the main characters. We already have one more character that is finished, which is, we haven't named him yet, but it's basically Eve's romantic partner. He's the person who gets NTR'd for the great part of the game. And we also have one of the main antagonists, which is the gym teacher, which I can spoil if you guys want. I'll leave it up to you guys in chat if you want to see them. But they're male characters. One of them being a good aligned character, and one of them being like one of the antagonists. There's going to be a route, they were created in quick succession because they are kind of like the counterpart of each other. Most of the NTR were like this NTR feels like very direct, because both the guys are friends, and one of them clearly has feelings for Eve, while the other one is basically just trying to take advantage of her. And yeah, he's obviously the type of antagonist that enjoys stealing a woman away from someone else, even though it's his friend. I mean, saying that it's his friend might be a little bit of a stretch. More like they're an acquaintance. The nice guy is more like a pushover, that the other guy is always like, oh, can you cover for me or whatever, while he's having his way with students and whatnot. It's it's one of those dynamics where he's a shitty friend, and then there's Eve, who the protagonist, so to speak, develops genuine feelings for, and then the gym teacher takes the most pleasure out of stealing her from his supposed friend. So yeah, and this will give us a few more days to actually come up with a few more antagonists, like Brooke's boyfriend, and then there's the voyeur guy from Fleeting Iris, the guy from the cameo that has the scenes with Jazz and Eve. We also need to do that guy. I think his name is Brett. So there's like two, maybe like two or three more busts to create for characters, and then we also have to create Jazz's sleeping attire and whatnot. So it in terms of enticings, there's probably going to be absolutely none, besides the one that we teased already, the one with the guy recognizing Eve. That's probably going to be the only one. But you know, it's the first patch, and hopefully in April, hopefully in April we have our first few enticings in the actual game. Also, for the sprites, we are going to be presenting a sprite style for Bloodlust, and we are going to let people judge if they like it or not. If people get on board with those, maybe we try to make the whole game in that sprite style. If not, we will revert to a sprite style that is more similar to Journey Abroad. In terms of soundtrack, we also want to make a soundtrack that it's very it's more beat, but it's also in line with the quality of Journey Abroad. So that's something that we're also paying a lot of attention to. And then, you know, the menus and whatnot, it's something that we are taking our time to actually be able to deliver something that actually looks nice. But yeah, there's a lot of work in this. I haven't even been doing, like, I'm so close to finishing the Christmas patch, but I don't even dare, like, I don't even think about it, to be honest. I just wake up knowing that I need to just launch myself to map creating. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be like 12 required maps. We're going to need the outside of the university. We're going to need the teacher lounge. We're going to need the principal's office, the apartment building complex on the outside, Eve's bedroom, or Eve's house in the apartment complex building. We're going to need Brooke's house, where Jazz moves in. We already have Jazz's bedroom and whatnot. So basically, for an extremely simple patch, there's like at least a dozen maps that we need to do. And obviously, with the quality that our maps have been released lately, yeah, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that go into those. So yeah, this great idea that we had about reworking Fleeting Iris in the middle of the week, that might be something that we are able to do further down the road, since we have to wait for like the bus or the enticings or whatnot to be created. It might be something that we are able to do further down the road. But right now I don't see how we can take time away from the game that we are developing on that specific month to work on something else. Like the Christmas patch we need to release, period. I just gotta like bite the bullet and just do it over the weekend or something. But basically I've been working from like 5 a.m. to like 9 p.m. With very short intervals in between, and yeah. When it comes to weekend, I'm exhausted. I just want to rest. And for Journey Abroad, I just see that we're going to have to make a lot of maps. We're going to have to make like all the menus, work on the mini games for the set creating and whatnot. So basically, there's a lot of stuff there that we need to do. And we were planning to work on Fleeting Iris while we were waiting for art. But that is something that happens like further down the road when we're not constantly focusing on making new scripts, new mini games, new this and that, just bunch of stuff. On Bloodlust, same thing. We are creating a bunch of maps. We are creating all the scripts. We're creating all this stuff, and chances are there's going to be patches where we have to be focusing on the battle system and basically the anti-scenes with the battle system and whatnot. And those are going to be like incredibly convoluted. They're going to be like a complete time sink. So for Bloodlust in general, I don't see how we'll be able to fit days where we can just work on the remake of Fleeting Iris. Journey Abroad might be easier to in the future to do that, but right now it's something that we are not even considering at all right now. So it is what it is. Our goal right now is to be able to release to stick to our plan and stick to our word when we made the plan to release every other month. So if the goal is to release Bloodlust this month, hopefully on the 25th, and then next month we're going to release Journey Abroad, and we're going to put those are going to be our goals. That's our commitment. Like every month we're going to release either one or the other. And then everything else in between that we want to work on, it's going to need some it's going to need some adjustment. There's definitely other priorities right now. We need to focus on the type of stuff that actually pays us, especially because we're getting more and more in the red. So we need to focus on the type of stuff that can pay for the studios to keep going, and then we'll see about everything else. I am super excited about the remake of Fleeting Iris. I know for a fact that we're going to improve the game drastically, but I would like to improve the game in many forms, as in redrawing some of the scenes that we feel like didn't, like the worst ones, like a dozen scenes, maybe a little bit more than that we feel that they didn't age well, and maybe with time and some patience and some funds, obviously, which is the most important part, be able to pay the animator that we've been collaborating with. Well, we haven't in a while because again, funds, but we would like to animate the entirety of Fleeting Iris as well. So, and especially because in terms of the structure of the game, the dialogue of the game, the story of the game, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we did in a rush, and that we could have done a lot better. And then there's always the plans for the scenes that we never finished, like the patch where Robert we improve, like Robert going around and finding where Ayame is and whatnot, and having endings where Robert catches Ayame in the act. There was like the Jack route. There was the BDSM route, which is an extension of the Office route. So there's basically all these routes that we want to do. There's the animating of Fleeting Iris that we want to do, but for all that, like, it's fun. Like, if people had, I've been meeting with people that create like pixel art, that create music, that create a lot of stuff, and it's really sad. Like, it's hard now to think about it, but I see some studios making so much money, and I keep thinking, bro, if we had like a small percentage of the amount of funds that these guys have, that we could invest in our game, in hiring people and outsourcing stuff. Oh my god, the games that I will make. Just the idea that there's a studio that made like $5 million on an entire game that is incredibly generic. If I had that type of money, oh my god, bro! If I didn't make a game that will be instant runner for the best entire game ever, I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I definitely know the people that I feel like, in terms of even today, I saw a guy that made some pixel art. And he basically did pixel art for a few AAA games, like mobile games and whatnot, where they invested a bunch of money in gacha games and whatnot. And yeah, he asked me what was our budget. I was like, bro, my budget is zero. It was like, bro, when it's a little more than zero, let me know, and we can maybe we can work in some battling characters for Bloodlust and whatnot. So we definitely have the ideas. We definitely know where to improve our games, but right now, the limitations are. It is what it is. So. But yeah, that's probably a discussion for another time. Obviously, there's all these plans. There's our future games. There's the Fleeting Iris 2 that we want to work on, and improving Fleeting Iris is a little bit of a pipe dream for me. But yeah, right now working on Bloodlust and Journey Abroad every month is a full-time job. There's zero time to even consider devoting to something else. Throughout the day, there's very little time for experiencing. There's very little time to focus on stuff that is not priorities right now. Like even the stuff that I have ideas for on Bloodlust, like for the battle system and whatever, I'm like, listen, that is not going to come out in this patch. As much as I want to go and test numbers, like sketch some images, whatever, like drawing, I'm getting ideas for entire scenes, how to improve this and that, and I do just like small bulletin points and like, okay, I'll get to this later. Right now, all the focus needs to be on stuff that we know it's gonna come out this patch. And so that's what we've been doing. Right now, we've been focusing 24/7 in creating the maps. At the end of the day, I try to spend some time checking some of the tracks, making sure all the assets that we need once all the maps are in place are ready to go. But yeah, it's hard, man. It's really hard developing this game right now, especially at this extremely early stage. It's incredibly time consuming. There's literally room for nothing else. There's no room to go back to Journey Abroad and try to like figure out, oh, there was this and that I wanted to change that I did not enjoy in the first batch. I wanted to ready this up. I wanted to work on the dialogue box and whatever. I ain't touching none of that until it's April. Until it's March. It's really not a priority to me right now. Every single minute I have is devoted to this specific Bloodlust patch. Sure, the university is, it's transferable. It's something that we're going to be using on Journey Abroad. But yeah, and even Jazz's spy suit, it was something that I was like, oh man, I want to see how Jazz's spy suit is gonna look like. Here's the sketch, yada yada. But we're like, listen, it's not gonna come out this patch. I don't care right now. I know it's gonna look good. I'm super excited to see how it translates from like an idea, from like a sketch to the actual thing. But nope, absolutely not. We're going to be doing sleeping attire for Jazz, and then we're gonna move on from that. We need a few more characters that are going to be introduced this patch, that are going to be very important throughout the story of the game, and they need to be there this very patch. And using placeholders is obviously always a possibility, which is something that is going to happen a lot, considering how fast we are going to be releasing patches. But we definitely want to avoid using placeholders as much as we can. But I too am a fan of the art of Tiger Lila and Muku, so I'm really looking forward to see how Jazz's spy outfit is going to look like. But it's 100% our priority right now. We need to finish at least like 4 or 5 more characters, 4 or 5 more important antagonists that I can think of. At least the gym guy needs to be painted. I already saw it, the sketch, but it needs to be painted. Who else was it? Yeah, the voyeur guy from Fleeting Iris. It was Brooke's boyfriend. We already have the landlord. We already have the school principal. Who else was it? I feel like there's a couple more characters that we're going to need this very patch. The principal. This is the same guy. Oh, I didn't know this. Yeah, I feel like for this patch, that's it. There's a few other characters that we need to introduce, but this is more upfront. This is more down the road, so to speak. Also, there's a detail that I just realized that I missed. I completely missed that I need to inform the CG team of. But yeah, there's at least those 4 characters that we need to create, and honestly, these characters are taking like, I don't know, close to a week to be created at this point, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, unless I'm mistaken, there's yeah, it's about that time. It takes a long, so basically a week. Let's see. So Tiger Lila started working on this character. This was after or before the adjustment. Okay, so Tiger Lila started working on this character on the 5th, and the character was delivered yesterday. So yeah, usually about a week. So every bus it takes about a week, and we have like 2.5 weeks until the release of the first patch of Bloodlust, and we have like 4 more characters to do. So time's getting short. We have 13 more days with like 4 weekend days in the middle. So just so you have an idea, we have, oh, it's Wednesday. Okay, so what of work? We have 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and in the 9th we have technically 9 days of work to release Bloodlust, to work on Bloodlust. 9 days. They fly by so fast, it's crazy. 9 days feel like nothing. Like weekends get in the middle. 9 days, it just feels like time flies by. And we still have a bunch of maps to create. We have all the dialogue to create. We have the events to create. I just hope that we don't get to a period that it never happens. Something like, I just hope that we never get to the point where we're working on something, but something takes like way too much time to deliver, takes like way too much time to work on, and then by the time that we have to release the patch, everything is a mess, everything is placeholders, dialogue is garbage. It's like, listen, we weren't able to deliver this in this, like in this conversation, this character tells this character this, and the key points are this and this and this, which can happen. Like we might have to divert so much attention and so much time towards a certain event or a certain thing, delays happen, stuff happens, and then it's just basically a skeleton of what it should be released. But then again, February, considering that it's like a release on the 25th, obviously feels very rushed. It's at least like 5 less days to work on, especially since the release is going to be on Tuesday this month. If we release it on the 30th, it will be on a Friday, so we will have all those extra days. They are middle of the weekday, so we will have all those days to work on. But it is what it is. It's the first patch. It's a tech demo. It's going to be coming out on the 25th, God forbid. So it's going to be coming out on 25th, and then from here on out, there will always be 30 days to work on. I mean, some of the months are going to be 31 days, but we're going to be trying to release every 30. So yeah, this month is going to be kind of short. We're going to try and do an amazing job and show everybody what we were able to do in a very short amount of time. But I know that it's still going to look good. The premise is going to look amazing. We have a goal to where we want to create the patch. I think I explained it last week, more or less, what we wanted to get out of the first patch of Bloodlust. For Journey Abroad, we might do a little bit of change since the second patch. There's some scenes that already came out in the first patch, and I might want to push back a couple days, and make it so that everything doesn't feel like going on too fast. And then there's also planning out to do the scenes in which we have at least like 3 scenes next patch, but we're also kind of like trying to decide which scenes we want to add to the game. So there's basically a lot of work to be done in Journey Abroad, and we don't want to finish like next patch with just one scene. Sure, it's like a full-blown anti-scene and whatnot, but we want things to be going progressively. But I also don't want people to have to wait like 2 months for a patch and then get something that it feels like, oh man, this is all we get this patch. There's like only 1 or 2 scenes. Obviously, like down the road, where every scene is going to be like a banger, every scene is going to be like full-blown animated sex, everything looks good. 3 scenes might not look as bad, because of the quality and but when you're gonna get like, if you get like a massage and you get like a hand job or whatever, it's like a couple scenes. It's like, oh man, that felt kind of short. That felt kind of like unsatisfying. But yeah, we want to make sure that Journey Abroad has a lot of content on the next patch. So I guess in a sense it's good that we're going to be releasing Bloodlust on the 25th, because if we do, even if the patch is kind of underwhelming, that means we can start working on Journey Abroad right on the 26th all the way till like March 30, because there's a lot of content that we want to put in the game, and then there's a lot of school days that we gotta go through to be able to. There's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of conversations that we need to go through to actually build some relationships to the point where some of those anti-scenes are going to make sense. And then we also need to keep in mind that for Journey Abroad, we're going to have to be working on 2 versions of the game, one of which has incest, the other one doesn't, because incest is not allowed on Patreon. So we're going to have to have a version where they're landladies, and then you can just you can download the patch probably from our website or whatnot, where it's going to be a small patch. It's literally going to change one line of dialogue. It's literally going to change one switch, and if that switch is on, and you will only have to download it once. This is the beauty. Well, for each save, let's say that you download the patch once, you run that. Actually, you might only have to download it once. You might have to reapply it on every scene that you download, on every patch that you download. But if you already have the fan patch, you just need to like extract it to the new version every time. And basically, all it's gonna do is change a switch right at the start of the game, where the game checks which version of the game you playing. If you're playing like the Patriot version, or if you're playing the Subscribe Star version, or basically a place that incest is forbidden and one or it's not. And then depending on the version that you have, the game is going to run a certain amount of dialogue. So the goal is to download the version that you want. So if you have the incest version and you have the non-incest version, you just download the appropriate patch and you apply it. It's going to be like a very small file. So we're probably talking about kbytes, not even a megabyte. And then there's going to be the reverse. Basically, if you're playing the non-incest, if you want to apply the incest version, you just go on our website, you download the file, you extracting the game, and you switch the switch, and then you just start the game over, and the game is going to read the new file. But that also might work for older saves. If a save has the switch done properly, because the switch is going to run right at the start of the game, which means that if you have an older save, you don't have to keep reapplying as long as you keep playing that save. But if you make a new game, if you make a new file, you need to have the appropriate switch for the version that you want to play. Other than that, that's probably the only big change. But all of that, again, is going to be reflected on the amount of time that we have, that we want to work on the game, and that we have to work on the game, which is going to be essentially, for the biggest part, like 30 days. And yeah, that's basically it. I still need to see in what order I want to release the scenes for Journey Abroad, in a way that makes sense, in a way that it makes sense that the scenes are in the game. There's a lot of maps to be done. There's a lot of dialogue to be done. So we actually want to make like a big March patch, because obviously that's when we're going to start announcing our game everywhere. And obviously we need to make a patch where the game is appealing, and actually people might consider supporting us after playing the tech demo. So yeah, there's that for Journey Abroad. I don't know if you guys in the chat room have anything that you guys want to discuss about the Journey Abroad, from what you've played from the tech demo and whatnot. Else, I don't think there's much more to talk about this week. That's basically the plan. And yeah, basically the plan is set. We're going to be there's another thing that I want to talk about. If you guys want to ask questions, if you guys want to talk about anything about Journey Abroad tech demo, take this time to do it, to write in the chat. Meanwhile, I want to explain something. This is also going to votes, but we might be doing there's basically two segments that we wanted to do also in the style of like a podcast. One of them will be, I think I announced it in Discord, but one of them will be us creating a segment where we will teach people how to create entire games on RPG Maker and whatnot. This will also teach people to grab our assets and be able to like mod our game. And yeah, it will be fun to see people mod Fleeting Diaries and see how will they improve the game, or Bloodlust, or Journey Abroad, or whatever it is, and just grab our HD assets and be able to create with it. And yeah, we will teach how to do in Photoshop and RPG Maker. Those will be the two main the main two mechanisms. And then, you know, if people want to switch it to Ramp or GIMP or whatever they want to adapt it to, that will be fine. So we will create like a weekly segment where we teach people how to create RPG Maker entire games, and obviously in addition they will learn how to mod ours. So it will be cool to see people add their own entire scenes, add their own mini games, add their own stuff. And the other one will be this will probably have to be on Picarto, but a lot of people keep asking me to keep recommending other games and explain why I think some other developers' games are good. And I already did like 2 episodes of that, and I thought it was pretty good, but obviously it didn't involve any gameplay and whatnot. There's some limitations, so there's a chance that we might go on Picarto and actually do also a weekly segment where this one will not be the most important, so I probably will like shove this on Monday, and then the tutorial cast will probably be on Friday. So on Mondays we will have the review, basically the review segment, the review podcast. I have no idea how long it will take. I guess it will depend on the game. It might also be just reviewing one game, might be reviewing more than one. On Wednesdays we're going to keep having the Devon Series Weekly podcast, and then on Fridays we will have the tutorial podcast where we will be teaching you guys how to edit Flinagaris, how to mod it, how to create your own game. So yeah, and then you guys can have an idea how much work we go through. So basically that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast this week. I hope you guys get an idea of what we're doing and the amount of work that is put every week into our games. It's been a journey. It's been incredibly tiresome, but it's super fun. It just feels sad. Like it's like everything in life. It always feels like we never have enough time for everything that we want to do, and especially early on where we want to do so much, but in terms of it making sense, in terms of like dialogue, in terms of you know, just the pace of the game, we can't be just rushing things for the sake of making money, because more hentai is probably going to be, you know, people are going to be more willing to support us. But at the same time, we also don't want to like shit the bed and make a bad game, and with a bad pace, with a cringy reasoning and the cringy dialogue that feels rushed just for the sake of doing that. So now we're basically working on a very weird area where we want to be able to deliver content, but at the same time we also don't want to advance the game too fast and everybody seems like a super slut and whatnot. So yeah, the pacing and whatnot is something that we need to calculate, and we need to it's something that we need to discuss thoroughly, like every patch. Right now the first patch of Bloodlust is basically just presenting some characters and whatnot, but for the second patch it's like, okay, what can we add that makes sense? And actually for Bloodlust it's not that bad, because we already have like the first few scenes calculated. I already know what are going to be the first few hentai scenes, and that's going to be cool. But for Journey Abroad, from where we are right now in terms of story to where we need to get to where it gets good, because there's so many characters that you're going to meet, there's so much dialogue, there's so much stuff. All I know is that Journey Abroad is going to be like, as soon as Bloodlust is delivered on the 25th, on the 26th we need to start working almost like we're already on crunch time for Journey Abroad. It's going to be full on red line work to be able to do the most amount of work in like 34 days or whatever it is. And this is legit going to be like trying to crunch like 2 or 3 months worth of development in 1 month. That's how the second patch for Journey Abroad is going to feel like. it's going to be probably working on weekends, sending Isaac with work home that he can kind of test on weekend. Annoying our scripter every day to can we adjust this? Can we make this better? Can we adjust this? Can we do this? There's going to be it's going to be kind of furious. Our journey abroad, how much work you're going to be able to put on journey abroad, because it's definitely going to depend on our journey abroad is going to be taken by the critics, and how much support are we are going to be able to collect from Journey Abroad to see if Evan Studios is going to be able to run, to keep running, or if it's going to have to run on a limited base. A lot is going to be dictated from how Journey Abroad is going to be received. So probably by the end of April or May, we will know if Evan Studios is going to keep existing or not. Yeah, we just need to hope that it's well received and people don't let the studios die, or we'll have to see if we have to adapt our stuff to Rampy and work on the game on a different manner. It's something that we haven't considered yet. It's something that I'm not entirely even sure that if it's something that we want to do. But yeah, like I said, by the end of April or May, we will know if Evan Studios is going to keep existing or not. And let's hope the future is bright. If it's bleak, it is what it is. We tried. We had a dream. Dreams not always come true. So let's hope that's not the case here. Right now, we just want to focus on Bloodlust. That's all we want to do. Is just focus on work. It's going to be full on Bloodlust until February 25th. We're still doing busts mostly, because we have been working on Fleeting Ares, and our CG team literally just started working on Bloodlust since basically the start of January. And then just shift all the work and all the time to Journey Abroad, like full time, and try to go crazy and try to do something amazing by the end of March, and I hope that the reception is great. But yeah, right now full on Bloodlust, and then when the 26th come, after we release the first patch for Bloodlust, which we still have a lot of work to do. Once we're done with that, we're going to be focusing on Journey Abroad, and yeah, Fleeting Ares remake. We're just going to have to leave that for later. Christmas patch, I'll try to just finish over the weekend. I just hope that I'm not exhausted. I'm exhausted right now, but it's a good type of exhausted. Let's just hope that we have time to do everything that we want to do, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it turns out. I want to thank you guys for once again one more week showing up, be part of the weekly podcast, be part of our development, share it with us, your opinions, and yeah, it was a pleasure to keep you company for once again probably close to an hour. So yeah, we'll be back next week on Wednesday once again. And then we have to see how it's going to work out for weeks where we have a patch release. If we have like a patch release on Wednesday, we might have to change it then, in case there's a patch release on that day, because usually on patch release days we have a lot of work, and we end up we end up working way past the podcast time. So we're gonna keep it on Wednesdays until there's a patch that needs to be released on Wednesday. Then we'll see how we're going to adjust, like a day earlier or a day after. We'll see. The next one, I know we don't have to worry, because I feel like the Bloodlust patch is going to be released on the 25th, which is, I'm pretty sure that I checked, it was a Tuesday. So we're going to have the podcast. We're going to have the patch release on the Tuesday, and we're going to have the podcast on Wednesday. Next week we're back on Wednesday. It's going to be the 19th, and then the week after that it's the 26th. It's the week after the release of Bloodlust. So we basically have 2 weeks to try to do as much work as we can. Let's see how it's going to turn out. Once again, my guys, it was a pleasure to be here and be able to make another podcast for you guys. As usual, much love, much health. Everything else, we can just go and get it. I hope I'll see you guys next week. Take care, guys. Peace out. Much love.
Okite wakari ne boshitata omoidashita no wa kimi no koto desu